It's now time for Party Chat Sports.
The only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Welcome back, everybody, to Party Chat Sports. We've got myself, Caleb Gill. We've got Dillon Schroeder. We've got Cam Braun. Drew, unable to join us. Probably has something to do with the loss that Notre Dame suffered last night because
He's not even a Notre Dame fan.
No, but he is an Ohio State hater. And I
Go
worded
Bucks,
that
baby.
wrong. I worded
Best
that wrong.
resume in college football history.
Outside of the one loss to Michigan, but you know what? Doesn't matter, ultimately.
You didn't even go undefeated. I don't know how it's the best resume.
So,
what do you mean?
The argument to best resume is having to beat, in the same season, the AP number 2, 3, 4, 5. Was it?
Yeah, and
6,
literally
9,
next year's champion is going to do the same thing. So
We'll see.
that's not important anymore.
Well, Penn State and Indiana, like the number 4 or 5 were ranked team, and Indiana was number 9 or 10. Those were in season. They beat both of them.
But Indiana was fraudulent. So
here's the more impressive.
Were they? Because their only
part.
losses came to.
They played nobody. They played the bottom half of the Big Ten. They played nobody.
We'll see.
Ohio State also averaged a double-digit win, so
they were favored by like 9 in every game they played.
Yeah,
so it's not
it's
impressive.
the CFP.
It's not impressive. Your number one arch rival owns you, and you're the only team in the nation that when you win the Natty, everyone is looking. You're all looking over your shoulder like, oh, but we didn't even win our most important game.
No, I don't think a lot of Ohio State fans would be actually doing that. It's a Natty, dude. It's the granddaddy of them all.
No, that's the Rose Bowl.
It's not. That's the Rose Bowl. Come on, dude. I mean, you've won
the
that
actual
too.
Which we did win.
That.
Yeah, we did win that. We have the most hardware.
Gold pants or gold trophies over gold pants.
I don't know, man.
Probably.
We've all seen national championships. Those are commonplace in college football, so I'm not even worried about it. I'd rather beat my rivals each year. Just saying.
But you don't. It's fair to say you do not have the same passion for college football as most people. It has been ruined.
As most people. I mean, I just think in general.
You
the
switched
NFL is king. The NFL is king.
Yes, 100%. But you can have passion for your college team.
Do you see, bro? I got my college. I'm wearing it. I'm repping.
You went from one SEC school to another. No. You're wearing that one too. Okay.
This is my boys. This is my true school. Maction. Gill knows what's up. Look in the background. Maction's where real football is at.
Damn right. But you know what? Still.
Don't forget, Cam, me and Jake Fromm are practically the same person. Remember that?
So speaking of King, last weekend was the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about those games. Only a couple games, 4 that were on the docket as we get ready for the semis, the championship round of the NFL playoffs, and then closer to finding out what our Super Bowl matchup is going to be. A couple shockers, I would say, this past weekend. There was a few teams that were heavily favored that at least one that was heavily favored, and they just came out looking flat. That's going to be the second game that we discussed, because the first game there was a lot of controversy. And I'm tired of hearing about the controversy because, again, maybe I'm a little numb to the whole New England era Patriots, or New England Patriots era and all that jazz that came with that dynasty. So, like, the whole rigged and refs siding with one quarterback over the other, like, I'm numb to that. I don't. It's going to happen. When you're a top 5 quarterback in the league, you're going to get calls that go your way. It's just going to happen. I remember a clip of, I think it was Cam Newton, was hit late. He was bitching about not getting a call, and the ref looked at him and he said, "You're not there yet, pal. You're not that guy."
Yeah. Well, while we're diving into that, I think there's a fine line here.
There is.
And Rich Eisen said it best. On these 15-yard penalties, they should be able to be replay assisted.
Yeah.
Like, while they're calling it and discussing it, they should be able to replay. The New York should be able to say, "Hey, we just watched that in slow motion. The defenders hit each other, and Mahomes didn't even get a scratch. Let's not call that."
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more important about getting the call right than anything. It should be reviewable, the 15-yarders. The ticky-tacky stuff like holding and pass interference, it's hard for those to be reviewable because it's like in slow motion, everything looks like pass interference. But I think with this intentional roughness or unnecessary roughness and the roughing the passer crap, like I just think we have a solution, or at least a way to something to try. Because
if we're using the tool, like replay assist has been used throughout the year, why not use it in a situation like that?
Like for spotting, like why can't you use that for quick penalties while the refs are discussing it? Sometimes they take 30 minutes. Why does New York not look at that while they're discussing it and wait for someone to say, "Hey, no, yeah, you're actually 100% wrong on that."
Yeah, like they do it for targeting. So what's the difference? Granted, do they get the targeting calls wrong? Yes, they do. So no one knows anything except the final score, which was Chiefs 23, Texans 14, for those of you keeping track at home. CJ Stroud, what's going on, man? Rough year all around. I think we all sung his and the Texans' praises all year. And granted, they did make it this far. They beat the Chargers at home, but
Stroud looked good in that game.
Yeah,
But
and
the
this
Chargers
one
also just looked abysmal.
Yeah. This one, multiple opportunities for Stroud to make a drive, to put points on the board, to get a win. Something, good quarterbacks do, like Lamar and Burrow and, Allen Mahomes. I mean, they all do it. Stroud, if you want to join that group, you got to do it as well. Borderline Herbert can also be thrown into this discussion of not being able to do it, but they lost last week, so that's a discussion for another year. It's one of those things.
And that's the other thing too. Like the opportunity, it's a 2-score. You lost by 2 scores. That means that it didn't just come down to one play, and even then, like there's opportunities throughout the game to, go down the field and make good plays. Like you can't blame refs, right? When you're the ones that are on the field playing the game,
especially
you need to
when you
maximize
let Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis
Kelce.
Yeah, go on.
When you let Travis Kelce have a legacy game right there, I know he's had a lot of them, but he's been probably below average this year
for his standard. Yeah,
for his standard. But he came out and he played with them, dude. Like him and Mahomes, their chemistry is unmatched, and the way that he played, doing the things that he did. How is he not game planned for?
That's a guy you game plan for. That's a guy that you game plan for.
That's a guy you game plan for.
It's Stephon Diggs and then Travis Kelce.
Yeah, okay. The amount of times he just caught a ball in the middle of the field and there's just nobody around him.
Right.
Make an adjustment, man.
Dude is crouch running.
Yeah, he's so slow.
That's what he's doing.
So
and
slow.
They can't tackle him.
He averaged 17 yards a catch, and he's running at 2 miles an hour, actually. Yeah, it was a little bit ridiculous.
It's going to be so irritating watching the Chiefs play in another Super Bowl.
They're not gonna play at a Super Bowl. That's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
All right.
Yeah. Like where I pulled that one out from?
I did. Little Paul Heyman over there.
Yeah.
But this was...
Mahomes made some crazy plays, though. I will give it to him. That one pass where he was getting tackled for a tutty, that was nice.
His diving throw, that was pretty nice. But again, Kelce was just all by himself. I don't know why that kept happening. But yeah, Houston. Tough year for Houston, losing all the wide receivers they did to injury. I mean, I'll give Stroud that benefit of the doubt that his two of his top three wide receivers 2 and 3 to be specific, were out and even Nico Collins was out for a substantial period of time. So really all year, I don't know that they ever had all three of their top guys on the field at once, maybe for a game or two.
Yeah, I think early on they might have.
But tough year for them. They got pieces. They'll be back. The AFC South is dookie, so they'll be right back here next year, and hopefully Stroud has a little bit of a bounce back. And they get healthy. They have running backs. Joe Mixon had a great season. So he's still got some gas left in the tank. They got Dameon Pierce still.
They get some linemen.
Yeah, linemen's what they need because their defense is also pretty decent. They got the edge rushers. They got their D-line's pretty good. They got some guys on the back end, Kamari Lassiter. Who's the other guy that's Stingley? So they got pieces, and they will be back.
Got a veteran in Ward, too.
Yep.
I mean, on face value, you made it to the divisional round. Like, that looks like a good season. It's just disappointing because throughout the entire year, you knew that they were capable of more, and they just never grabbed what they were capable of. And that was the annoying thing. Like, especially Stroud. Stroud just did not progress the way we expected him to. So, hopefully, he takes this offseason a little bit more seriously than he did last year. He's not hopping on podcasts with, like, Micah Parsons and whatnot.
Yeah, leave Micah alone. You don't need to talk to him. Plays for a poverty franchise that's not coming out of the gutter. They're going to stay there.
That's a little bit of rent-free. I'll pop in for Drew there. That's a little bit of rent-free.
Just
nonetheless, given the recent events of the past couple of days, he probably agrees that they're a poverty franchise, especially if Schottenheimer is head coach over there.
Him and everybody in Dallas is ready to jump into a bathtub with a toaster.
Jerry Jones, man. Jerry Jones, he's giving late President Biden vibes of just, what are you doing?
No.
Not to get political, but what are you doing?
We're canceled. We're done.
It's not to get political, but it's just a little fun. Yep. Jerry Jones, what are you doing? Just disconnected with reality a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Not many owners can hold a press conference, though, after every single game, and most owners shouldn't, but everything's
right.
About Jerry, and I'm sure I want to hear, whenever the Cowboys do make a hire, as much as it's going to pain Drew, I do want that pod. I do want that episode up on the feed.
Yeah, no, it's going to be necessary.
He just needs to be able to be in a good enough state of mind to hit record and just talk.
He just needs to have the power to hit record, and then we'll hear from him.
Even even if he doesn't turn the camera on, just hit record on something.
We'll just put one of those 4K like rainfall backgrounds, and just Drew talking like a sad puppy in the corner.
But anyways, somehow Cowboys always get brought up because you can't talk NFL without mentioning the Cowboys at some point.
America's old team.
The other Texas team, though, falls 11 wins on the season. So obviously, it's not a terrible season. It's just you always thought they were better. The team that used to play in Dallas a long time ago, the Kansas City Chiefs, are on the doorstep of being in a back-to-back-to-back Super Bowl. Who will they play? They'll play the Bills, and we'll talk about that game in a second. But on the NFC side, the number one seed in the NFC did not win.
Frauds. Terrible. Whole NFC North is fraudulent. Let me take over on this game. Lions, your injuries caught up to you. It sucks. You had a great season, but it's not comparable to the last season, and it stinks. But, when you got Armand St. Brown talking every single week on the podcast like he's the shit.
Who's Armand?
St. Brown?
Amin Ra.
Anyways. You took the Commanders lightly. Ben Johnson pissed down your leg. Honestly,
I think he just checked out. But hold on,
especially when they're
they put up 31. They put up 31. Let's not act like that's the second most scored all weekend.
And that was with 5 turnovers. That was with 5 turnovers.
That's not Ben pissing down his leg.
No,
Anyway,
because
continue.
they only scored 10 points in the second half.
I'm going to put it more on J-Mo, though. Dude, don't throw that pass. Run the ball. That play basically decided the game. You're down 10. You throw a pick on a play that you did not need to throw it on. You probably could have ran it or just, thrown it away.
Yeah, I think the Lions got too cute for their own good. They thought they were the fancy team that could just do whatever they want and be flashy.
Yeah.
And they had a whole bunch of injuries, like you mentioned, which I think, let's not pretend like all of their players were out, though. Like, they still had their linebackers out there. They still had Brian Branch out there. They still had Kirby Joseph out there. So it's not like they were empty. They still had a lot of their core players.
They had a few.
So,
I think
I'm not going to.
Cam, I think you did hit the nail on the head there with taking the Commanders lightly. They came into this game acting like they deserved to win. They didn't play to win. They acted like they had the right to already win, and all they had to do was show up. The Commanders came in wanting to win. They came in like, we feel disrespected. Nobody's taking us seriously. They were like 10-point underdogs. So they came in, and Jaden Daniels, man. I know last year we said C.J. Stroud had probably one of the best rookie quarterback seasons ever. But C.J. Stroud didn't make it to a championship game. Jaden Daniels making it to an NFC title game and playing the way he has been, especially in the wins. They don't win 14 games this season total. They are at 14 wins this year with their playoff wins without Jaden Daniels. He's been so impressive, and hopefully he takes that step that we were expecting CJ to take this year. Because that Washington team, the prophecy of the NFC East, right? You do not repeat as NFC East champions. The Commanders are probably going to be, it's going to be Eagles and it's going to be Commanders that are favored to win that division next year.
But the Eagles can't, so.
Exactly. I think the Cowboys they've got their own thing going on. Giants. So Commanders, you need to hone in. And it looks like, Cliff Kingsbury's probably going to stay. That's going to be good for Jaden.
I think that's super important. I don't think that can be overlooked. I think he was the key to Jaden Daniels being what he was this season.
Cliff is a good play caller. He's a good offensive coordinator. It's just when he's asked to be the head coach of a team, he can't do it. And that's fine. It is okay to be really good at one job and not good at the promotion. And Cliff Kingsbury is just that guy. He is a good offensive play caller. Just let him stay on that side of the ball. Work with Jaden Daniels in the offense. Maximize the talent that they do have, because it's not like they don't have a lot of names. Like, hats off to Dan Quinn and everybody on this coaching staff for getting the Washington team to play the way they have. They put up 45 points on the number 1 seed. That's nothing to look past.
It's pretty good.
They do have a tough matchup coming up against the Eagles, but, man, I would love it for the Commanders to make the Super Bowl. I always forget, was Ben Roethlisberger's first Super Bowl, was that his rookie season or
he made it to the AFC Championship as a rookie. They lost to the Patriots, but then he won it in year 2.
Okay. I knew it was very early.
Yep, they won it in year 2 against Seattle.
Alexander.
Yep.
See, that's a roster we could do.
I got 2 names for you.
Hasselbeck and Alexander.
That's it.
Or nobody else knows what we're talking about. We'll get to that later in this episode. We'll talk about that later on. The Lions are just winning.
I have a lot to say. I have a little bit to say about this game.
Go for it.
You nailed it. Lions had already put themselves in the Super Bowl, and I think Lions fans already put themselves in the Super Bowl. And I think that got to the Lions a little bit as well, especially, the see in 2 weeks to the Vikings or whoever said it.
Dan Campbell,
head
coach.
Yeah, I just think they got over their skis. They thought they were the shiz. And they had a great season, absolutely. But they thought, like Gill said, that they deserved it, and that's part of the reason why I love seeing this happen is because a lot of Lions fans I know also thought they deserved it. All I hear is, "Oh, we've been bad for so long, so we just deserve to be good." Sorry, Gill. This is it's a different thing. Okay, it's a different thing.
I'm in the same boat with the Lions.
I know, but the way that Lions fans were doing it, it's all of a sudden, it's like they didn't know how to handle it. They were all of a sudden just better than everybody else.
Well,
I think they acted that way.
Browns fans did that for a second too. I think if the Jets, if we ever get to a point like that,
they're the scum of the earth. So
now, but when Baker was there,
they're the scum of the earth. So
if the Jets ever make it to a point where they are in that same tier where the Lions are at now, I kind of expect us to do the same thing. We've been bad forever. We've been purged. It's our time. We deserve.
Yeah, and that's all fine because it's going to happen naturally. But nobody cares. Nobody cares what the Lions were. People only care about what's happening now. You had a great season, but you put yourself in the Super Bowl and you got ran over in your own house. You got crushed in your own house.
Very interesting that you say that because I've been fighting my ass off with Ohio State and Michigan takes all week. But go ahead, because last year is last year, and it's over.
Yeah, but you lost to him this year. You lost to him this year, though, Cam.
Won a natty.
You lost to him this year.
Natty.
Clearly, it's rent free in your head. So
gold trophies over gold pants. But go on.
Hey, you keep bringing it up, man. You keep bringing it up. Our rival owns you. It's embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, no, I've said my piece. Lions fans and Lions themselves just put them. They bought their ticket to the Super Bowl already, and they forgot that they had to continue playing.
And some of it too, I think. You look at Ben Johnson, Monday, whatever, accepted a job with the Chicago Bears. And was already had his staff built. He already knew, Dennis Allen was coming over. Aaron Glenn is...
why aren't you game planning, man?
Right. How much... Were you really preparing for the Commanders, or were you preparing for your next job? And that's for both the coordinators. That's for both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, who... Ben Johnson, they did put up 31 points. You can't put 3 golf interceptions on Ben Johnson, but something creative.
The other thing, too, last thing I want to say before I forget it, all year and last year and this whole Lions resurgence, it's been Detroit versus the world. We're the underdog.
Everybody does.
Yeah, I do, too. It's dumb. Ohio versus the world is dumb. But
that's dumb. No, that's a terrible take.
It's dumb.
Anyways, go ahead.
It's dumb.
No, it's not.
And let me finish my take. And that propelled the Lions. They were this underdog team. They had a chip on their shoulder. Everyone underestimated them, and it felt like in the middle to late this season, it shifted to we're not the underdog. It's not us versus the world. It's we're better than you and we're the best. And that changed their mentality. And it felt like that's how they played this game and they lost. So
they haven't been in that position where they are they have
only
been the
Chiefs
underdog.
can do that. Only the Chiefs can do that.
They did act like they became the top dog and they weren't yet. They hadn't earned that.
Well, and even if they did, they let it affect how they play. And you can't do that.
No. So. And next season's going to be a little rough for the Lions, going through a transition of coordinators. I think they're going to face it's going to be very similar to what happened to the Eagles.
Dan Campbell hype man's going to have to figure it out this year.
This year's 2025 is probably going to be rough.
They won't repeat what they just did.
No.
They won't repeat a 15-win season, the regular season.
Look what the Eagles did. They lost Nick Sirianni. Shane Steichen, and Jonathan Gannon. The same offseason, the year that they lost in the Super Bowl. The first year, with Brian Johnson as the OC, it was this isn't good, so they replaced him. And now, Eagles are back to being on the doorstep of the Super Bowl again. It's going to take us. That did also help, too. But if you are a good coach, you're going to figure it out. Dan Campbell, I think, is a good coach. It's going to take him a year to figure it out. The Eagles went through that before. Now they just beat the L.A. Rams.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really the wrong
I'm gonna say my
reference.
quick piece on this game. It really never felt like the Rams had a true chance, especially once it started snowing. That Eagles team is built to play in the snow, and when you have Saquon who can run in the snow and gallop in the snow like fucking Rudolph,
Whoa!
Hey.
We gotta mark this explicit now.
Game would have been better in a dome.
No, I really enjoyed that game because Saquon proved that okay, it's snow, whatever. That's what happened in that game. Saquon took over. Jalen Hurts, being a running back, played to his advantage. Eagles dominated.
It just completely favored one team. I mean, you can't pass in the snow, so it completely destroyed the entire Rams' offensive identity. Unfortunately,
It's called home field advantage.
Sure, and I can't argue that, but
yeah,
Dome makes this game completely different.
Maybe. Puka did have a couple drops. He didn't look the same out there. He did have a clutch catch at the end. And I thought Matthew Stafford was about to lead another game-winning drive.
He probably does in a dome.
We were so close to seeing another Stafford game-winning drive.
No, I can't agree with that, though, because that last drive, I think Stafford could have gotten there. They had the chance at the end, but the center and the right guard, which I know is Kevin Dotson, who's like 34, 35 years old.
Back up. That's false. Kevin Dotson was a Steeler. We drafted him like 6 years ago. He's not 35 years old, I promise.
Okay, so I think he's like 32, though. I thought he was older.
No, he was the best guard. 28. He was the best guard in football last season.
He's 28.
Let's roll that back.
Well, he was not the best guard that day because he completely forgot how to block.
He was terrible. He was terrible, 100%. That last fourth down, though, it can't help but feel like the snow made that ball sail out of Stafford's hand. And in the dome, he probably puts that on the money.
I think Jalen Carter is more the reason of that throw.
I've seen Stafford make that throw 100 times. Regardless, it wasn't in a dome. Whatever, I don't care that much. But you could make the same argument that the Eagles do better in a dome too, because their offensive is dynamic. So I'm okay with that. But I just would have liked to watch it in a dome, so you don't have to watch handicapped offenses and you can watch full football instead of crappy Jalen Hurts just going, here you go, Saquon, and then Saquon being Superman.
He did have a 50-yard touchdown run without the snow.
Yeah, Justin Fields could have done that.
Anyways, anything else on the game?
Rams might have been Matthew Stafford's last game for you.
Might have been.
We'll see what happens.
Very sad.
And Cooper Kupp. So
Hall
what are you going to do?
Who? Which one?
Stafford.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And Kupp, honestly.
There's give Kupp a couple more years.
I think he's a fourth or fifth. Fourth or fifth ballot.
No. We've gone over this. What
do you mean?
No, he's not a Hall of Famer, dude. No. We've gone over wide receiver Hall of Fame and what it takes. It takes a lot. Okay.
Did he not win the Triple Crown?
Doesn't matter. Career stats, man.
And a Super Bowl.
Doesn't matter either. There's lots of guys that have won Super Bowls. Hines Ward, Julian Edelman.
Hines Ward's been on the ballot, though. For a long time.
Yeah, and he hasn't got in. That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot to get in.
That's why I said he's a fourth or fifth ballot.
No, he's a 0 ballot. If he retired today, Cooper Kupp retired today, that's what we're talking about?
Is Sterling Sharp on a Super Bowl?
Is that what we're talking about? Because he has...
No, not today.
He's got 200. He's got 400 less catches, 3,000 less yards, a whole lot of less touchdowns than Hines Ward, who's not in. So that's the standard. Hines Ward is like on the edge.
Standard.
I hate that. The standard sucks. Hines Ward is on the edge of Hall of Fame wide receivers. He is the edge because people just above him get in and people just below him are not in. So he's like literally the edge. And he's been on the ballot for so long, like you said. That's the catalyst for Hall of Fame wide receivers. You look at Hines Ward, and if you're better, you probably are. If you're not as good, you're probably not. Sorry to do that. It's just in my heart, you know.
I don't think it's wrong. I think he needs to do a little bit more, but
yeah, could he? Sure. I don't. How old?
You got to
is
have
he?
another bowl.
He's
He came in the league
31.
late.
He's 31, so he could. Oh. By the way, I wasn't even right. He's got 5,000 less yards than Hines Ward, 400 less catches, 40 less touchdowns. So he needs to do a lot more. So no, he's not a Hall of Famer at this point in time.
Stafford is.
He's also only had, if you look at it, he's only really had 2 good years. Cooper Kupp's only been a 1,000-yard receiver twice in his 8-year career. Yeah, he's only been a 1,000-yard receiver twice. He's only been a Pro Bowler once.
Yeah, that's not a good resume.
It's not a good resume.
Triple crown
Granted, that season was elite and it was one of the best ever, but one elite season does not get you into the Hall.
No.
So
Sterling Sharp was also a Triple Crown.
Hall of Great.
And he's not
very nice. He is a Hall of Great receiver.
Yeah, that's
I'll
fine.
give that to you.
Hall of Very Good. So, Eagles advance. They'll play the Commanders. We already talked about the Chiefs. They will play the Buffalo Bills, who held on against the Baltimore Ravens. I was so irritated with Mark Andrews in this game. The fourth quarter, more than anything. Like, yes, I know Lamar struggled in the first half. It was a bad first half. Things started clicking, though, in the second half. But Mark Andrews fumbling the ball and then dropping the 2-point conversion. First, I'm irritated with him, but also I feel bad for that dude. It kind of reminds me of, was it Brandon Bostic for the Packers against Seahawks that dropped the onside? That let the Seahawks move on? Like, it kind of gave me those vibes. And Mark Andrews has been struck. It felt like he struggled a little bit more at times this year. But also, I didn't realize how many times the Ravens have tried a 2-point conversion where Lamar rolls out and tries throwing to Mark Andrews.
And
like
it bounces off his hand.
And it never worked.
It's really funny. John Harbaugh needs to get a different play because clearly that one, I mean,
Who's a play
on paper,
caller?
It's perfect. Their
was right
play
there. It was
caller
open.
is
It's worked twice.
Todd Monken.
Monken.
Todd Monken, because he came from Georgia.
I should have known.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you swap around Lamar's first half and his second half and Andrews' first half and the second half, we'd be talking about a really different story. So you have to blame both players. It's not just one or the other. You know, you can play great as you want in the second half, but if you put yourself into a rut or a hole after the first half, it's an uphill battle.
Right.
You got to play all 60 minutes. No 15 minutes is more important than the other. So it's just a typical Ravens playoff game. It's a playoff game I think we've seen Lamar and Ravens co play probably the past 6 years. And it just feels right now when it's all said and done, man, this conference is just coming down to the same 2 teams, and it's going to keep being that way unless the Ravens change something or the Bengals change something.
Or the Steelers. To be honest. Figure it out. You got a good defense.
You have to have a franchise quarterback.
You got to have a franchise quarterback.
And not just a franchise quarterback. You have to have a freaking GOAT.
You have to have a dude.
You have to have one of the best of the best. You have to have a Mahomes, an Allen, a Lamar.
You have
Burrow.
to have a quarterback that's going to go down as one of the best of his era, or you have to have an unbelievable roster with 0 holes, and that Ravens team definitely had holes in it. So,
yeah. And it is interesting seeing like comparisons to Lamar's career and Peyton Manning's career. At this point, I think Lamar does get a Super Bowl at some point in his career.
No, I'm a hate on that until the day I see it.
And I'm going to hate
the day
on Josh.
it happens.
And I'm going to do the same thing for Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen until the day I see it.
Well,
that's
only
a
got about
wash.
2 more. You only got about 3 more weeks, my friend.
Nah, I got years. And honestly, it'd be kind of funny. I got years before I even have to worry about that, man. Because the Buffalo Bills ain't moving on. It's just it's foretold.
They are.
What it take?
They are.
It's foretold. It's in the stars.
Hey, they ain't ever lost 4 in a row. Come on now. Bills fans are shaking in their boots, man.
I'm not gonna lie. The only enjoyment I would get out of Buffalo making it to the Super Bowl is watching them lose a 5th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The 0-5 all time. That'd be.
I don't know. Yeah. Regardless, this Super Bowl should be really good, which is a good thing. I mean, I think you got 4 good teams. I think the worst combo of a Super Bowl would be like Chiefs Commanders.
And that's kind of what I want. That's what I want to happen.
But I think that would be like the worst combo.
It'd be the worst combo, but like.
And the worst uni combo. Let's be real. That's disgusting.
It'd be nasty. It'd be nasty.
Well, which one would wear the home jersey? Like, which one would wear their home? Like, what?
Probably the Chiefs. I don't know what the rule is, but
isn't it still AFC, NFC? Whoever wins that game.
It's not who wins.
No.
It's they alternate. So if last year was the NFC team picks, this year the AFC team picks. If like vice versa, I don't know who picked last year. What?
I feel like the Chiefs wore red.
Chiefs wore red.
I don't know if 49ers chose that or not, because I feel like the year before that, the Chiefs also wore red. I feel like they've wore red at both Super Bowls they were in.
No, because...
No, Tony was white. Tony was wearing white, wasn't he not? Or was it red?
No, Eagles were wearing green. You're right. Eagles were wearing green. So
Chiefs would wear white, and then the Commanders would wear their reds. Oh, God.
Or their blacks. They could wear their blacks.
They could?
They wanted to. Anyway. Bills, Eagles would feed the nation what it needs.
I don't think it would. I think multiple cities would burn down.
Fan bases. That's 2 of the best fan bases.
No.
That are that.
Well, the best. Which fans will burn down the city of Philadelphia, brother.
Hold on.
Anything fan bases. I'm not talking about their people. Their people suck.
That's
Philadelphia for a reason.
They're people that's in the fan base.
I think it's
diehard.
It's 2 very polarizing fan bases.
Yeah.
That, depending on your viewpoint, could be categorized as good or very terrible. Drew would categorize Philadelphia as very terrible. Filthy fans.
Filthy.
Gill would probably say Bills fans are filthy, table crushing people.
No, they're great people.
They're not great people. They're jackasses.
Yes, they are, dude. They donate to the people that they beat, dude. That's awesome.
Wasn't there a Bills fan that beat the shit out of a Dolphins fan?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's an outlier.
But the Eagles fan, bullied that one lady, and that's normal behavior. So
yeah,
Eagles fans are the worst.
They're 100% the worst. They're the worst.
Eagles fans, I don't apologize for saying that. I know where you stand, and honestly, they're proud of it.
They are. City of brotherly hate, to be honest. So, at the end of the day, football's dead, man. My team's not in it, so it is what it is. I'm already doing mock drafts, okay?
I'm waiting to see the Aaron Glenn update. It looks like he left the building. This happened before, though.
No, he left the building.
Yeah, but back in 2021, the same thing happened with Salah, where he left. Everybody was freaking out. It's like, oh no, how'd you let him leave? It's like, he's got to sleep. You thought he was going to stay there and play Fortnite with Rick Johnson?
He's got to sleep.
He's got to go home. He's got to... But, anywho, enough about me. This was still a good game, nonetheless. And I'm glad it came down to the wire like it did. I just didn't like the outcome.
5 hours ago, Jets don't want Aaron Glenn to leave the building.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho. All right, let's make our picks real quick, and then we'll get into Cam's game. So, what we have is an NFC East championship game in the NFC Championship, essentially. That's what we've got. We've got the
Drew's
Eagles.
worst nightmare.
Drew is going through some hell right now. Brian Schottenheimer is about to be your head coach. You're watching two NFC East teams.
Does it get lower? Does it get lower? I mean, I understand the Jets have had 13 years, 14 years of crap.
14.
But does it get lower than where Drew's at right now? I know four plays in was pretty bad, but
I don't think it does because your team is at the bottom of the barrel and you're watching your rivals. I mean, Drew hates the Eagles. That's well documented here. And he's about to watch the Eagles potentially play in a third Super Bowl in the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, it's 35-23 easy.
oh boy, sorry, Drew.
35-23 easy.
Everyone
and if
keep
it
them in
snows,
your
it might
thoughts.
be 40.
What's the line? That's what I want to see.
No, what's your guess?
My guess is Eagles to cover whatever it is. They're going to cover.
No, you need a actual prediction.
They're going to cover.
It's Eagles are 6.5 point favorites. Over unders 47.5.
Over unders 47.5.
Eagles 6.5 points. So you got Eagles winning by at least 7.
Eagles are going to score 31. What's the over under?
47.5.
31-17. Over hits.
33-20 Eagles. I want to take the Commanders so bad. My issue is the last time these two teams played was in Washington. The Commanders barely won, and Kenny Pickett was a quarterback. This game...
It was not his fault, though.
No.
Devontae Smith dropped a wide-open pass. So
But that's why, that was a quarterback that almost beat the Commanders. Now, granted, the Commanders did just take down the number 1 seed.
Hey,
Can't look
fourth
past
quarter
that.
Kenny is like one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Are you sure about that? I watched. It's not what I watched.
You sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
I don't gotta defend him anymore. It's not my job. It's not my job.
I want to see the Commanders do this so bad. I really like Jaden Daniels.
So what's your score?
I already said it, 33-20 Eagles. I just don't
Gotcha.
think this is where the Commanders' story ends. This is where their season ends. It was a really good book to read, and now I'm excited for Chapter 2 of the Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels era. I'm excited for story.
That's
2.
a long book. Book was one chapter. That's crazy.
I got my words mixed up there.
Anyway, no, you're right.
It was fun. It's been a fun ride, but
Or they come back down to earth like every other team that has a good year, like the Bengals and the Texans and everybody else.
I mean, Texans did they kind of replicated their season, essentially.
Yeah, but they didn't improve like everyone thought they would in year 2. They didn't take a jump.
No.
So I don't know.
Fair
It's just an example.
so
Game 2, or is that?
Cam, did you make your pick on score?
Yep.
What was your score?
35-23.
That's right. Game 2. The night
Yeah,
header.
it's a big 31-28. Let's go, Bills.
Chiefs in Arrowhead. Chiefs 1.5 point favorite. Also 47.5 is the line. Hold on. I want to. The Chiefs.
Bills 23, Chiefs 21.
Let's go.
Bills.
I'm taking the Chiefs. We're getting another Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl.
That would suck.
It
That would suck.
But also,
That might be worse than Chiefs Commanders, to be honest.
you know what though?
Sirianni's a clown. I hate that dude.
We talk about curses. We talk about prophecies.
Yeah,
No,
Eagles can't go back.
Eagles
They
can't go back.
So it's the Commanders.
It's
That's
got to be
crazy.
They
because no quarterback that's lost their first Super Bowl has ever made it back.
And if the Bills make it, it's Josh Allen's year. There's no other. You can't lose, or else he'll never go back. He's got to win it if he goes.
You know what? I might be fine with the Bills losing the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to, because they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl.
It's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking.
I'm going to go 28-24 Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win it in the final minute. It's going to break the hearts of every Bills fan, and I am going to bask in that glory. I'm going to enjoy all the Bills fans' tears. I'll be like Cartman in South Park. That's my score. 28-24, Chiefs. We're going to get Chiefs versus Eagles. It's going to be disgusting. We're going to watch history happen. Mahomes, I would rather watch history, watch Mahomes three-peat, than watch the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. That's what I've got going on. I'm already telling you, I'm taking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. And Drew's been on that train. It's just hard.
If they make it, they will win. If they make it, they will win. I don't think they're going to make it. So,
like Drew's been saying all year long, it's hard to pick against the Chiefs until they give you a reason.
This team's arguably worse than last year's was, and here we are.
Yep.
And last year was the worst team he had, and they feel worse. But
offensively,
like they're a 15
15
win team or 14, whatever. Now they're 15, I guess. And it just feels like they should be a 12-win team or an 11-win team, but
they're 16.
We are
16.
Yeah, I mean, they should have lost so many games that they didn't. But you can play the should game forever, but it's just crazy that the luck they've had this year.
Good teams ultimately find ways to win.
They do, and if that means the other team makes a mistake, you found that way, I guess, apparently. That makes you a GOAT, whatever.
All right. Well, that was us discussing the divisional round. That was us making our picks for championship weekend. Let's wrap this up with Cam. You've got something for us.
All right, boys. We're going to do a little roster challenge of teams that you should know from the past. So we're going to do a little test run with it.
This is something that we're
player for player.
We're probably looking to do an entire episode surrounded with this idea later on, but let's test run this.
I'm turning off my computer in the background so that we can be okay. I'm ready.
You are going to name a player on the 2020 Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay. Who goes first?
I have a number up in the air. Gill pick.
Between 1 and 1.
Between 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
1 in a million.
2.
It is wrong. Dillon, you will go first. Keep
Tom
track
Brady.
of your players. Yep.
Hold on.
We'll just have to keep track communally.
Actually, you know what? No, we're going to do this differently. We're going to go position by position. So, Dylan,
No. We're going player by player.
No.
All right, we'll go player by player.
I can't do it the other way.
All right. Gronk.
Yep.
Mike Evans.
That's correct.
Antonio Brown.
Correct.
I don't know if he was on this team or not, actually. Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
Chris Godwin.
Correct.
That's the one who I was debating for whatever reason. Antoine Winfield Jr.
That is correct.
Tristan Wirfs.
Correct.
Jamal Dean.
I ain't going deep in the bag real quick, but yeah, that is correct.
Let's go.
Carlton Davis.
Yep.
Let's go.
Scotty Miller. That could be wrong.
I think you're
Nope,
right.
that is correct.
Let's go!
Age of 23.
Give me Blaine Gabbert.
Why would you pull that out now? Correct.
Oh. I don't think he was on the team. I'll save him for later. Can I get a Vernon Hargraves? That doesn't feel
He
right.
was not correct.
All right.
one.
I'm on
That's your-
strike one. I'm on strike one.
Yeah,
Vita Vea.
Oh.
that is correct. You
Levant-
guys gotta really, yeah, you got that one.
Levante.
That is correct.
Yeah.
A lot of linemen left.
Shaq Barnett. Is it Barnett or Barrett?
Barrett, but I'll give it to you because that is correct. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Dude, there's some great
Oh my
names
God,
on this
there's-
roster.
I know. There's a couple there's at least one or two that I'm saving.
I'm low over here. I'm not going to pretend like a 2020 Bucks ball knower. I feel like I've already done a pretty good performance.
No, there's probably 2 or 3 Hall of Famers on this team
Mm-hmm.
that you guys are missing. Some tight ends that were
Really?
supposed to be good. Really good offensive line. Defensive line, yeah, there's a Hall of Famer there.
Yeah, I know. I just can't.
Um,
Is there a running back I should know on this list?
100%, yes.
Is it Le'Veon
And
Bell? Is it Le'Veon?
Oh my God, strike 2.
Okay, you
No,
just
it's-
sold me. You
no.
sold me.
No, it's LaShawn.
No.
It's LaShawn McCoy.
Yes, it is.
Oh, screw that dude. I just watched a TikTok about him today because he was talking about the difference between Tom Brady and Mahomes, and it was the worst story I've ever heard.
A lot. Only, I think there's one linebacker that you guys have not named that is still in the league.
I can picture the dude right now. I know his number. I just can't remember.
I know I can see the lineman I'm missing, and it's not going to happen.
He's not known for this team.
Yeah, because that was Brady's first year. That was let's go get anybody and everybody.
A tight end that was supposed to be good. Hold on. Oh,
There's a running back that was supposed to be good.
The tight end was pretty much Kyle Pitts before Kyle Pitts.
One was a Madden demigod. And there's a pretty there's a notable name at tight end also.
Yeah, that was a deep tight end room.
Dude, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
That I can name two.
Oh, jeez, man. I can see him in my eyeballs.
O-line has some pretty notable names too.
I'm not going to
One-
get him.
O-line, I don't think I'm going to get.
Oh.
Just to keep the game alive, Dylan. He's been on the McAfee show multiple times. The offensive lineman. And the tight end went to Alabama.
Oh, gosh. I feel like there's two, and I'm going to get it wrong. Is it the tight end O.J. Howard?
It is.
That is correct.
Okay.
Gill, you are not allowed to use that one because you watched the show.
That's fine. Can I get Cameron Brate?
Yes, you can. What a pull.
I have a lineman that feels wrong.
All right, Dylan, there's 3 running backs, 1 quarterback.
3 running backs that he hasn't gotten.
Oh
that
my
haven't been
goodness. An actual Hall of Fame tight end.
I got Gronk. Gronk's the first one I said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Okay. I was like, buddy.
All right.
We've got
Two running backs.
Line is decent. There's a lot of bigger, older names on the defensive line. Names.
I'm not going to pull them.
The linebacker one is still playing the league, and he's supposed to be super, super good, but he was carried.
I know.
Is it 2020? Is this team?
Yes.
Yes.
Devin White. Devin White.
There you go.
Okay.
I could picture his number. I couldn't remember his name. The entire time I wanted to say was never mind. Was it Atomicon Sue on this team?
Yes. That is one of the Hall of Famers.
He was on this team.
A lot of DBs left.
Crap.
A lot of DBs.
DB-wise so far, we've got Winfield, we've got Dean, and we've got Carlton Davis for defensive back.
There's two notable specialists. Two notable.
Specialists.
Hold on.
As in kicker and punter.
Bro, I don't know the kicker and the punter. Okay, I don't.
One was a Titan at one point, I believe.
Whatever, don't help me. Was Shaq Mason on this team? And I'll die on this hill if he wasn't.
Let's scroll up. 4 strike, 3. Dillon, is Shaq? No, he is not on that team. I believe he came the year after.
That's a bummer.
Really?
Wait a minute. I need to find out if he was traded. Gill, can you do a quick fact check for me?
I'm looking at Shaq Mason right now. He was a Patriot.
I feel like he just got traded from the Patriots.
He could have been on that team this year for the first time, for all I know.
Nope. 2022 was the only year he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Dang. You win, Gill. What did I put up, though? How many did I get right?
Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9.
Some
I got
notable
9?
names.
That feels good. That feels good to me, man. It's a random team from 2020.
Here's some notable names missed. Random team. They won the Super Bowl. Ronald Jones. I feel like everybody should know who that guy is.
About that,
Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah.
Another bigger one.
Yeah.
Let's see, you guys.
Oh my gosh, Jason Pierre-Paul was on this team.
Ryan
was a Pro
Jensen,
Bowler.
Alex Kappa, Ali Marpet, and Donovan Smith.
Alex Jensen, I should have got.
Jason Pierre-Paul was also on there. William Golson, who still plays with them.
Nah.
The cornerback, Sean Murphy Bunting, just because,
yeah, Sean Murphy
you got
Bunting.
Ross Cockrell.
Hate that dude. That dude was a Steeler. I hate that guy.
A Jet after this year, I believe, Jordan Whitehead. And the specialists, Bradley Pinion and Ryan Sukup.
I would never.
Suck Up is his name for the record, but no, I would have never got those. Wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Damn. That
was fun. I'm excited to do that for our real teams, so that'll be fun.
We plan to do that later on, where Cam's going to give us
system.
a year for our teams, and then we have to guess and see how many of our players that we remember from those teams. But that's going to be something that we do later on as we get into the off-season. Off-season's close, guys. We've got 2 more weeks of actual meaningful football with a Pro Bowl week kind of in there in between. We'll be back next week. We'll probably... I'm thinking we do our Party Chat Sporties next week.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, I remember the
Sporties
Party Chat
Awards.
Sporties.
Do our little award show next week. Probably discuss championship game or championship weekend. If you haven't already, go check out my video that I put out last week on who I think is going to get hired in terms of head coaches. 2 head coaches have been hired. Looks like another domino's getting ready to fall. We'll see if that falls by the time this drops in the morning on January 22nd. We'll see. And then, so keep checking that out, see how accurate I am. I think I'm 2 for 2 in a way. Because I said, for the Bears, I took, I can't take credit for Vrabel, because that was well before. Knew that was going to happen, though. Bears is a tricky one.
We'll give you credit for that.
Everybody. Friday lost against Tennessee. Vrabel will be Ohio State's head coach right now.
Probably, yeah, but that didn't happen. So, for the Bears...
because they won the Natty!
For the Bears, I had stipulation, but I pretty much said Ben Johnson if he wanted a head coaching job. go check that out at Party Chat Sports on our YouTube. Go check out everything else we got going on. We still have TikTok up, so make sure you do go check out our TikToks, everything at Party Chat Sports. Keep up to date on our Twitter at Party Chat Sports. Until next time, tell everybody who we are. Tell them that you love us. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe at Party Chat Sports. But till next week, peace.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks, baby.